Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, C.
Good morning, baby.
Good morning, everybody out there in podcast land. First of all, thank you for another show on Spotlight. Shucks, got me all flustered today on
Simply us.
Simply Podcast. My wife, you know how she does. She has me. Let me straighten this out till I get right. Um, and I apologize. We were upstairs talking, doing some conversation on important events happening in the world today. Shout out to Dr. Sutton who stopped by my house, our home yesterday. Apologize, CC, my house. Stopped by our home yesterday, pick up some things. He's doing his usual, as Gina Lee says, save the world. He'll tell you where he's at today, putting out a few things, giving away, putting out enough, giving away a few things. But this is a format that my wife came up with. My wife is an engineer. All of y'all know that. She's the reader, the smart one out of the group. I speak my mind. That's my spot. We'll be joined in a little while by Doc. He has a PhD. Gina may be in and out today because she has a lot going on. But if you see I'm a little flustered and stuff, just talking about uh, Lamar Arbery trial, talking about this, just who's the gentleman that shot the people, CC?
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Cal Rittenhouse on there and being called a hero as he's talking. And, how did we get here? So, because I kept bringing up a few comments to my wife about the show and what's going on, she happened to mention to me the best thing that she could suggest to me is put it out there to everybody and let's get some more questions. So man, I said, baby, I'm appalled how ignorant I am to this whole trial situation scenario. And she explained to me, it ain't me. It's not me. A lot of us. Shout out to Joseph Cook, JC. I grew up with my boy, the best friend, whom told me that when we were talking, we went to see Rest in Peace Cooking Man. Uh, Shout out, rest in peace to Dale from Northwestern Class of 75, lost her partner for life, and Carlos gone. And just let's get out prayer and get into the show. This one has me out there. Today, our format is questions and answers. We're going to give you a format of questions and answers. We want y'all to come up with the question. This is a group participation, audience participation, podcast participation out there. Let's all talk about this. Get this cheap therapy. No, not even cheap, right? See, free. We get ready to talk to a doctor with a PhD who's going to tell us his opinion on some of these things. Cece's going to tell you what she's read, and I'm going to tell you how I see it. And then you and our audience put y'all, as we say in Westmore, your 2 cents in there, which is really a nickel. It's no longer 2 cents how it used to be. Your opinion matters. It counts. Let's get prayer and get into this show because we got a hot topic today, and I'm excited about it. Father God, thank you for the wonderful things that's going on in all our lives. Father God, please keep the podcast strong, and thank you for it. Father God, we always start our prayer with those persons over there fighting those God-forsaken wars, losing mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins, nephews, losing limbs, losing sights, losing their homes, losing their relationships, just some even gone crazy. You know what I mean? Shout out to all the soldiers and all the families who have to deal with everything that go on. Father God, we always pray for everybody out there that's still dealing with situations and circumstances through this God-forsaken pandemic. We always like to keep them strong. We are doing a lot better. We're doing a lot better. You hear CC and Gina and myself always complaining. We're doing a lot better, but we got a long way to go. Father God, please keep them close. Father God, anybody that's not vaccinated, please get them the shot. We always also pray for the world that's going out here, dealing with situations in the times. Gina says the largest wildfire in the world at one time was burning in the coldest region on earth. That's like having a fire in a snowstorm. So we don't understand that. But Father God, the show today is about chaos and confusion. You know, how did we get here? Father God, we pray today when you have your moment of silence that your moment of silence is not just for the friends who's lost their lives, but for everybody. For the pandemic, Father God, everybody through these wars, Father God, everybody through gun violence, everybody through being choked because they're selling cigarettes, Father God, just through everybody, through all this chaos and confusion. Father God, put your hand on us. Keep us in the blood. Father God, please surround us. Father God, if we haven't ever told you this lately, we love you and we need you now. Feel at this time, y'all, when we have our moment of silence, an extended moment of silence today, please. Amen.
Amen.
Hey, y'all, we how did we get here? How did we get here? How did we get here when tough West Baltimore, ex-dope fiend, jailbird, crack addict, drug dealing thug can turn herself around and become a prominent member of society, a great citizen, retired from the state of Maryland, a great parent, a grandfather, a great grandfather, and still be confused? How do we get here when the CCs of the world, the 46-year-oldest, and I'm a wildcat. Northwestern was a great school. I went to Rockland, y'all called it West Baltimore Middle, one of the top of the line, junior highs when I went there, and I went to James Moser. In my mind, we learned reading, writing, and arithmetic, one of the best elementaries you ever go to. I knew so much. I was so smart, and I'm so sharp with common sense. And by me having Cece as my wife, how much I don't know. How much I don't know. How much we don't know, y'all. So how did we get here? So Cece just came up with a simple format. What's the format today, C?
We just want to put some of these. It's it's been a really big news week, and not in a good way last week. So we want to just tell y'all about some situations. These situations have been well publicized, so I'm sure that everybody is already aware of them. But we just wanted to put these our point of view about these situations out there, and get some participation from you all to see what your point of view is on these things. I mean, I think that as a human being, you can't see the things that have been going on in this last week and not be affected in some kind of way. And we just want to know how you all feel about these situations. We want your point of view.
And we're going to give you our opinion on it. And everybody out there, this is a important segment to me. It's an important segment to me because I was sitting there talking to Cece. Y'all know how I am. If you don't know, parents, watch what you do to your children. Watch how you are when you're their hero. When I grew up, my heroes wasn't Magic Johnson. You know what I mean? It wasn't Malcolm X, wasn't Martin Luther King, and all. Like my heroes, my father and my big brother. That was my hero. So I'm the baby. I got 5 big brothers. I come up as a rough and tough rootin' tootin' family, and I just had heroes in the home. My father, my father told me something. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Doc.
Uh,
Good
Doc, our
morning.
format today is we're going to be leaning on you today. This actually is just segment. We're going away from our tradition. Today, what we're doing, we'll be talking about the Ahmaud Arbery trial. We're going to be talking about some of these things that just got us where we are. This is
Hmm.
really not a big topic. Uh, uh, that person's understand, and starting with me. Everybody, Dr. Sutton came to our home yesterday to talk about some things and get prepared for his something that he's doing today in the community, as we always say, saving the world. But we need to get some answers. But Cece said something that was real heavy to me, Doc. She said, before we can get some answers, first we got to know the questions.
Hmm. You're right
That's
about
why.
that.
Yeah, I mean, so what we're getting out there today is y'all questions. Well, we're gonna get some questions. We're gonna do as we do as the panel, and I'm gonna respond. Gina's gonna respond. But I strongly urge y'all, not just people of color, anybody. You will get ready to get some free advice from a doctor, a therapist. But we want to get some advice from me. I got a PhD too in these streets and common sense. And Cece's going to tell you everything that she read because she sits back and reads on this. So right now, here's our format. With Cece's getting in now. She's ready to post whatever she's going to post. She's going to get some questions out there. And we want to talk about some of this because Cece kept telling this is how it all started. We were sitting down. Cece was fixing my breakfast. Cece was fixing my breakfast. And she happened to say to me that the lawyer said, what was it that the lawyer said that for some reason I could not grasp what she was saying that her client said?
And she didn't say that her client said it,
I
but
mean,
this was her. And I wanted to have it in front of me so I could give a direct quote, because Lord knows I don't want to add anything to this because it's disgusting as it stands. She said in her closing argument, she said turning Ahmaud Arbery into a victim after the choices that he made does not reflect the reality of what brought Ahmaud Arbery to Satilla Shores in his khaki shorts with no socks to cover his long, dirty toenails.
one more time, please.
Turning Ahmaud Arbery into a victim after the choices that he made does not reflect the reality of what brought Ahmaud Arbery to Satilla Shores in his khaki shorts with no socks to cover his long, dirty toenails.
Before we even respond to that, podcast lane. It's so many of us. I'm from West Baltimore. It's so many of us that have lost. I've lost my grandson. It's so many of us that have lost kids to violence. So many of us have lost persons to drive-by shootings. So many of us have lost uh, people who didn't even get a chance to vote. I want you to sit back and think of how a parent must feel. Sitting in that room and someone sitting across from them made a comment like that about their child. How do you restrain yourself? First of all, for not putting your damn hands on them. How do you think about this out there, podcast land, when you read this in the paper and you are the family? See, we've taken the human factor out of this. This is my question to the panel and out there. Claudette, shout out for the word. Where's the empathy? Who said something like that? Is jogging down the street on trial? Is not wearing socks on trial? Is even needing a manicure, pedicure on trial? What does one have to do with the other? I want y'all to go back to statements of facts. When they showed Mr. Arbery going to this house and look around, my neighbor up the street, James, my neighbor next door, Mr. Rick's probably listening. He's a really good neighbor. But up the street, my friend Keith bought the house up the street. He's a new neighbor. And this house is vacant over a year, year and a half, right? See?
Yes.
Me and Cece are no burglars, no robbers. I've been to Keith's house up the street as many times as him and have never been inside. How many times when they were selling that house did we go up there and look at it, see?
Front, back, through
On
the
the
window.
deck, walk around the pool. We were looking at the house fascinated. And then when they came up and started doing the work on it, they wanted too much for the house. We were looking at the house to buy the house. But the house needed too much work. And we wouldn't willing to put that kind of money. We said ain't nobody gonna buy this house at this price that they already want for because it needs too much work. But we were fascinated with the pool, right, baby?
Yeah.
Got one of the baddest in-ground pools, Ted, you'll ever see. Doc has got a bad house. But he went over there, and what the contractor knew was the only way they could sell this house was sling a gang of money into it.
Mm-hmm.
Now he got a nice home, but I don't know if they made any profit because they had to put a lot of money into this house. But that being said, everybody in the neighborhood went back and forth looking at the house while it was getting built. Start with me and Cece. We used to make a trip just to get up and walk up the street. Good thing we ain't have Cookie then. Because that would have been our dog walk. That, right, wasn't it?
Right.
If we walked about so much, we'd have used that as an excuse for everybody, you know what I mean? We just going to bed walking Cookie. We'd have been walking Cookie looking at the house. They was doing improvements and stuff. And that may have been what he did. The person in the homeowner showed several people several times looking at this property, looking in there. It was a house being built. Dr. Ted will tell you, well, if you're going to steal something, man, you got a bag, you got all kind of things. You don't jog in some shorts with no shoes to go steal 2x4s. I mean, he didn't have anything to steal anything. And then you said that you came out of your house because you saw them as what did why did they say they came after him, CC, initially? The neighbor, because he saw it.
Well, their initial claim was that crime had been spiking in the neighborhood. So they went outside because they thought that he was a They went because they thought that he was a burglar.
Burglar stealing what? If they've been if he'd been back, Ted, if he'd been back and forth in the house, how many times the next door neighbor been in there looking at it? He know ain't nothing in there but 2x4s and beans and stuff.
Right.
So he knows that. Well, let's get with our formats. CC, any questions come up yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Let's start with Dr. Ted. Dr. Ted, first, just comment on this situation, please.
Well, to hear that statement that was said on official documents on national television, I think is offensive. It's offensive to people of color because, see, that's making reference to him being of a person of color.
Exactly.
And I think that is, and that has been injected into, this whole thing. I mean, it's so sad that, anytime you even have lawyers, I've just seen certain things that are unprecedented, like when you have a lawyer that, like, people are not offended that there are maybe one person of color on a jury, but they are offended that one black pastor comes to support a black family. And I think that, when you make mention, that we don't want all of these black pastors, meaning like you were very specific. So you don't have no problem with a white pastor coming there sitting there. So do we serve the same God? Is it the same God that we serve? And so I'm offended, that they would even make that in a closing, argument. It's very offensive, and it's hard not to get angry, to be honest with you, about, something like that, because here you have a family that they lost a loved one that they will never see him get married. They will never be able to watch him graduate from the different colleges that he could have done. They will never
No
watch. They
grandkids.
will never watch it. Meaning that you know, and you sum this up to the point that you want to win so bad that you want to offend people who are the victims and demonize him when he has done nothing. Guilty of jogging while black. You know, I mean, so
Dr.
so to me, you're right.
Dr. Ted, before you get in there, CC, can you tell us that I'm sure somewhere in the system of Facebook went viral the post. Can you explain to us the post that you put up about Mr. Arbery and Rittenhouse? You put up
Well,
something in
well, I put up
17.
a post. I put up a post that was really just kind of comparing the two with
Exactly.
Trayvon Martin and
Mhm.
Rittenhouse. And
Okay.
so both of them 17,
Right.
you know, and you have one that really is guilty of killing someone, two people, maiming someone else. You have another one guilty of carrying Skittles. The other one guilty of carrying an AR-15, and definitely guilty of being under 18, which the judge threw out. Definitely guilty of crossing, the line, crossing state lines, which he was. But I was looking at how they demonized Trayvon Martin, who was just trying to go home, and they glorified this young man who took 2 lives and maimed somebody else's life. And they both were at the age of 17, and it just shows the level and the extent of white privilege that they want to keep on and continue giving into.
CC, once again, I'm gonna apologize to you before I give you the floor. Here's the format of the show today, as CC was saying. CC, you're right, because it's already come out. Dr. Ted said something that I didn't pay any attention to, or I didn't know. He was 17 and he crossed 2 state lines with this rifle. Did he break any laws doing any of this kind of stuff, Doc? I mean, because they threw so many things out. I tell y'all, all I did was somebody shot at me and I shot back. They missed and I didn't. And when they read charges with me, you would have thought that I assassinated Kennedy. Discharging the handgun, discharging the handgun in the city limits, possession. They gave me so many charges. I was looking over there like, what did I do? I'm just beefing with somebody. This 17-year-old kid took a rifle somewhere and his mother took him and the rifle, cross state lines and stuff. At 17, you can do that, Doc?
No, you cannot.
So that's another charge that he was automatically guilty of. That
was facts. It was facts. It was everything that he was really to be honest with you, the only way he could have walked out of there with not guilty would have to be if those charges were thrown out, because those were dealing with facts. Yeah. No one can say he wasn't 18 in a day. His birthday had not come up at that time. He was 17. Had he crossed over the city line, yes, he went minding somebody else's business. He's talking about he wants to go and protect property and different things of that nature. But I actually have footage of him beating up a young girl. Beating up a young girl. Now this is actually some stuff that hasn't really come out because they don't want to talk about his history and how he lived. And then on his social media, he had put on there that he could not wait to shoot a shoplifter. Now that's what he said. He said he could not wait to shoot a shoplifter. And so to me, it shows to his state of mind. So he want to get on there and cry. He want to get on there and blubber. And I don't want anybody to allow him to be comfortable. He needs to be reminded every day and not be comfortable, because I do not see him as a patriot or a hero. He is the exact opposite of what a hero should be.
CC.
Karen Cunningham. Good morning, Karen. Karen says
Good
not to
morning, Karen.
mention an assault rifle that he's not supposed to have in his possession.
Right. Correct. Correct. 100% correct.
Good morning. Comment, CC.
No. Let me start with Ahmaud Arbery. Um, like I said earlier, a lot of the news, the breaking news last week, just disturbed me in a
Hmm.
way that I don't know if it should have or if it shouldn't have. But I was very out of sorts last week about the things that I heard on the news, and this this defense attorney who made that comment about Ahmaud Arbery as a mother, as a human being. I was, I can't really say that I was shocked because of the climate of the world today, but I was appalled, I was outraged, and it saddened me that a person would not only give so little care about the life that was lost, but that mother that was sitting there, that was
Hmm.
already grieving, looking for some justice, that as a human being, you would have shown no empathy and no compassion for her, was just, it just left a terrible taste in my mouth.
Hmm.
First of all, they were trying to, I'm glad that they have done away with this citizens arrest thing there. And I think that every state, wherever you watching from, that we all need to make it our business to get rid of that, get rid of that whole thing.
Hmm.
Because first of all, we have people that we pay as taxpayers. We call them the police. It's their job to make arrests. And in order for an individual to make a citizen's arrest, and the same thing with um with Trayvon Martin that you mentioned, Doc. The same thing. That was his excuse too, that he was making a citizen's arrest. But in order to make a citizen's arrest, if anybody out there, if I'm wrong and you know better, chime in. But in order to make a citizen's arrest, you have to actually witness somebody committing a crime. So why can't our black boys go home? I never knew that was a crime. Why can't Trayvon Martin go home? Why can't Elijah McClain go home? Why can't Ahmaud Arbery go home? Because these are the only things that these young men were doing, was trying to go home. So it shouldn't even be on the table that they making a citizen's arrest, because you need to, in order to do that, you need to be able to clearly state what crime you saw being committed that prompted you to make a citizen's arrest.
Right.
And this is not, this is not what happened in any of these cases. You know, and this defense attorney, I mean, that whole reference to Ahmaud Arbery's toenails, long dirty toenails, as she put it. If anybody is blind, deaf, or dumb enough to not see that she was trying to draw a parallel to a runaway slave, please give me a call, because we need to put y'all down with something, because that's exactly what her inference was. And
Hmm.
she did it to arouse these kind of feelings in that practically all white jury, in a
Hmm.
place that's 69% white and 27% black, where they just saw fit to have one black juror. So, you know,
You know,
They were trying to diminish his worth. They were trying to diminish his worth by saying that reference. You know, see, they said it wasn't a war on crime until it spilled over into the suburbs. So as long as the war on drugs was in the projects and East Baltimore and these type of places around our country, it wasn't a war on drugs. When it spilled over into the suburbs, and then now their children was going in the city to get drugs, and then they were, you know, different things of that nature. But so it was almost a reference that he is dirty, he is beneath us, and you know, these patriots were doing what they should have been doing. And so, you know, that so to me, because it made no reference if he had used 2 bottles of lotion or if he was ashy as like he had been breakdancing in sheetrock. It wouldn't have mattered.
Right.
One way or the other.
If he had a pedicure, I mean, would he be alive today? We forgot.
Absolutely not.
We forgot
Absolutely
about that big
not.
hole in his chest. We're not even going to mention that.
Yeah. But he was running. He had shoes on though. Initially.
Exactly. He had sneakers on. So what I mean, you don't jog in flip-flops. You got to have some running shoes on to jog. So
and people out there, first of all, thank you very much. I'm just jumping in. The stereotypes that they try to give, first of all, not only does it have any merit, it's not anything that we now as a culture can see. Meaning this, you looking at me, I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret. I keep a manicure and a pedicure. And I was just locked up for attempted murder. What do your feet got to do with that? What does that have to do with it? Dr. Sutton, when we ran around coming up, and once again, I'm gonna tell you again, I'm West Baltimore Party Marty, my ex-dope fiend, jailbird, crack addict thug. They got itself together. There was also a money-getting drug dealer. When I came along, I was out that mob. Ted was out that mob, but it had levels. Even though as much money as I was getting, I wasn't on his level. I mean, I was getting money. Everybody knew who Party Marty was. My name was ringing out there, but I wasn't running around with Liddy Jones. I wasn't standing in the front row of the fight with Dr. Ted. Lil Melvin didn't come over my house for lunch. He wasn't my godfather. There's levels to this thing. Don't mean me no less than them. There's levels to this thing, how far you can go. But you can't look at people and figure out who they are no more looking at them. You just can't. You just can't. Just can't. I'm telling y'all, I don't care what your degree is in, how sharp you are. My wife is as smart as you. I don't give a damn who you are. My wife ain't got a degree in nothing. My wife is as smart as you are.
That's smart. Right. That's right.
She's smart only because she reads. And she don't read to try to get to be smart. She reads because she's a nerd. She reads because she's a nerd. She likes to read. I play pinochle because I like to play pinochle. I play chess because I can play chess. I play chess for food. So I look at her, man, how good I am. I look at her, I laugh, and I say, man, them godforsaken jails I was in, when you lose a chess game, you just lost your breakfast. You lost your lunch, you lost your commissary. I'm out there, boy, playing. That's the game of life. Chess to me, I can play. So I know everybody, yeah, I know I can do it. I ain't saying that. I'm just saying I play a regular game of chess. Pawn to king 4, my opening thing, and then I play the end game. I play the swap game. I trade everything there is on the board till we get to the end of the game. And it's me and my 2 pawns and you and your 2 pawns, and I think I can beat you. That's all it is. That's the game of life with me. When people go off and bank you, man, them 2 chumps jumped on me and I ran. I came and got somebody. First of all, I'm going to fight 2 chumps. Because I literally, not because I'm tough, because I'm violent, can beat the average 2 cats.
Right, right.
I'm going to fight first 2 of y'all. Now, after I start losing, I'm going to run like anybody else. But don't think because you bank me, I'm going to run, because I think I can beat 2 of you chumps. First one of y'all, once you get kicked and bit, right, Ted?
Once somebody
Mhm.
bites you and you ain't never been bit before, you ain't never seen nothing like it. I'm gonna kick you, grab your nuts, pull you by your hair, bite you, hit you, then kick you in the nuts. They ain't never been. I ain't trying to win the fight. Real talk. Fight. Ted said something on the episode. He said, "I've never been in a fight where I was fighting for my life." Now,
Mhm.
I've been stabbed and I've been in them yards and stuff like that, but I ain't never been in a fist fight that I was fighting for my life. Call Mad Max and them. That's their thing. We go get called. We go get called. You want to fight? You know what I mean? We go get Pootie. You want to fight? We go get Dr. Ted. You want to go fight? We would go get. Well, our system was different. We ain't got big people to fight. You get what I'm saying? But we, you know, and we came along, fight. Somebody broke it up. But now you can literally be fighting for your life.
Mhm.
Now, all that I'm saying. Can you imagine Mr. Aubrey one minute is jogging down the street and the next minute he's in a fight for his life? Can you imagine the initial shot where the shotgun hits you in your stomach and you feel yourself laying in the middle of the street? How did I get here? What did I do? I mean, don't you get it? Don't you? Can you imagine the empathy that's going on with the people in the courtroom saying this person is over here belittling this person's child in front of them, that's burying them, and somebody tell them, "Oh yeah, you know George Floyd got $9 million. His family got money." Don't you know that's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life? Who the hell cares? Yeah. Before I go off and I'll get back to the panel, I call him Marty Mack. His name is Mark. I mean, his name is Marty. His son lost his life out there going to the University of Maryland, McNair Foundation. You know what I mean? Sure, he got good money from that. But Marty is my friend.
Mhm.
You feel me? He only had a child. And his wife child is gone. Yeah, but you know how much money they got? First of all, Marty already had money.
Mhm.
He already had money. So you can't impress him with no couple dollars. He already got money. Doc, he already got money.
Right.
Got his line of clothes and stuff like that. Can you imagine when they sitting in the courtroom listening to the conversation that's going on about their child? And somebody sitting back thinking about, once again, all we do is a person's of color start talking about the money that somebody's going to get. Who the hell cares, man?
Right. Right.
Who cares? Somebody lost their life. Lost their life. And before I go in closing, what does a murderer look like? What does the thief look like? Does a murderer look like me? In West Baltimore, everybody got their hands on something. Does a murderer look like Dr. Sutton? What does the thief look like? Cece? I mean, because she's sitting there cute and dainty and stuff like that. That ain't the CC that's running around in this house. CC don't take nothing. Because CC don't take nothing off me. Can't look at that man and say that that man is jogging and his nails and his toes were long. And all of a sudden try to, as Doc and CC said, stereotype him as a runaway slave. That's why we're having this show. That's why I want to comment on that before we got off of that. I had no time before CC just not finished saying that, thought of that scenario, that they wanted to picture him as depicted as a runaway slave. Damn.
I mean, and even the parallels to slavery and the whole situation. I mean, we can be blind and deaf and dumb all we want to, but if you don't see it, you got to be one of them, because the white men with the shotguns chasing him down with the two trucks, boxing him in, and then one of them commented, I think it was the elder McMichael, the father, that they had him trapped like a rat. I mean,
They did.
this is this is this is what's happening in 2021. You know, I often, having a child is one of the most beautiful experiences that anybody could ever have. But
Doc, Doc,
Well,
let,
mhm.
let me say that. Go ahead, Doc.
No, I mean, just hearing her talk. I mean, I don't know. I think I get a little bit upset about this. I mean, I'm really angry about how this is going. And for somebody, I don't like bullies. And for somebody to think that because you're in this courtroom, that you can just say whatever you want with no accountability after the wrong, meaning you are victimizing the victims. You know, you are terrorizing the ones who have been terrorized already. And now you're doing it under the mask of the legal system. And see, to me, I look at it totally different because I'm looking at that law that was started in 1861, you know, going all the way back to 1861 about that being able to do the citizen's arrest. And it just got took off the law in 2000, I mean in 2021. So we're talking about some serious time. So it was on the law, and these white men thought it was okay to do this under this same rule that was came into effect during slavery.
and only because
So it's the same mindset.
right, and because they feel like they can get away with it. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they can get away with it.
They
And
was
you
in their
know,
yard. You're so right. You're so right. You feel like
we
they can get
don't
away with it.
we don't
Mm,
advocate for violence of any sort. So I don't want anybody to misunderstand what I'm about to say. But the beautiful people in 2021 are not the same beautiful people from what you say, Doc. What year was that?
that was 1861.
Okay. You're dealing with a 1861. You're dealing with a whole different breed. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But and people keep acting like they don't understand why these protests keep breaking out and all this kind of stuff. You know, look at what happened with Rittenhouse. Look at what happened
Mm-hmm.
with him. We had uh if I'm not and I should have gotten that name before we got on here. So if anybody knows, please type it because y'all know I really like to call out cowards. But
Mm-hmm.
we looking at United States Senator that before this trial was even over said that he wanted Kyle Rittenhouse to be an intern for him because he wanted him to do more good work for the country. Please tell me what good work he did in the first place. Granted, the people that he killed they were not black, but
Mm-hmm.
they were out there in support of this movement.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And to say that you want him to do more good work, to me the implication was that
Right.
anybody that was out here in support of this movement, whatever happened to him happening, that was good work. You know, they got this, and you know, I don't feel sorry for him because at 17, you know what you're doing. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, they have made this young man a poster child for
Mm-hmm.
all of this foolishness that they got that these conservatives have going on. You know, they have made him their mascot, whether he wanted to be or
Oh
not.
yeah.
What he did was wrong. Yes, he should have went to jail. Yes, because it's nowhere in the world that in my wildest dreams or
Hmm.
imagination that you can make me think that he was not guilty of one single thing, all the things that were on his.
Right. Right. Right.
But at the same time, you know, we are rightfully so angry at him, but I
I
think
mean,
we're
I know
more
it's one
angry
out there. I
because
know it's
of
on.
the way
It's
that
gonna be used for
segment
that.
of the population has glorified it. And
Mm-hmm.
also
Mm-hmm.
because I would have felt better, and I'm still not going to say that I would have excused
No,
it and
that
thought
way.
that he was
I need,
right,
I need a,
but I
I
would have
mean,
felt better if I felt like he showed some kind of remorse for the lives that were lost.
At least some of them.
Right.
Some remorse.
Even if you felt like you was defending
Terry,
yourself, okay,
Terry always.
that remains to be seen. I didn't see it as self-defense.
Yeah.
However,
Mm-hmm.
the whole my big issue is the fact that there was no remorse shown. for the lives that were lost. It's like these days, the life of an animal means more than the life of a human being. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, how did we get here? We can't even say that it's just the black lives, because just like I said, these weren't black people. You know what I'm saying? But anybody that stand in the paint to support, excuse me, black people and the movement, then it's an issue, because they understand. They people keep saying that they don't understand why the movement exists, but the movement exists, just like I said, because Tavon Martin just wanted to go home. Ahmaud
Mm-hmm.
Arbery just wanted to go home. Elijah McClain just wanted to go home. You know, that's why the movement exists, because we can't even do something as simple as go home.
Right.
You know
And
what
you
I'm
see
saying?
how you see how polarized this has been, because they want to make it so if you are against what he did, you must have voted for Biden. We must, so it's a whole thing. You see how the judge, when his phone went off and his song that was playing as his ringtone was God Bless America. It was the actual song that was the theme song for Trump running for 2016. And when you look at some of the things that that he has done, I mean, it's just so absurd. So now they're doing an investigation to see if Fox News helped with his legal issues. That's supposed to be unbiased, I guess, news front. Saying they saying that they did that, and then they did a documentary sneaking in his car, sneaking, talking, interviewing him. This is before he even got locked up. And so where this young man talks about, oh, I just want to lead a quiet life and this, that, and the third, but you were out after the guy from Silver Spoon, Ricky Schroeder, paid your bail the first time. The first place that you were seen was at a bar that you really shouldn't have been in because you're underage, but clearly this young man doesn't worry about rules. But you're taking pictures with the Proud Boys throwing up the white power sign. Now he went on his little documentary and said, I love Black Lives Matter. This was all about self-defense. But you were with the Proud Boys throwing up the racial white power sign, saying, proud. So don't flip-flop. If you're gonna be one way, be another way. Because see, to me, I'm like, for you to feel like you don't care about people of color, I'm like, believe me, one place we are, unfortunately, is the prison. So you're gonna get to know some people of color when you locked up. Just about every prison, even where we are not the majority in the city at all, we are the majority normally, as far as in the prison. So by only equaling close to 16% in the country, but having over 50% of our prisons, we there. We are there.
Which was
taking somebody's little
main
Debbie's
reasons they didn't want them to go, Doc. That's
Oh
one
yeah.
of the main reasons that they did everything in their power. If I ever seen a trial that was rigged in my life, it was that written out. First of all, the judge should be removed from the bench.
Oh yeah.
He
Yeah.
should be
I want
removed
him to
from the
be
bench
investigated. He should
because
be investigated.
there was definitely bias there from the start. I mean, how many Doc, you work with young people, you work with at-risk youth. How many 17-year-old little black and brown boys have been into the courtroom and nobody felt not 1 ounce of remorse for them because they were 17 years old?
Come
You
on
know what
now.
they do to ours? They charge him as an adult. When
Right.
he went in
Right.
there, as soon as he started that tearless crying that he was doing, all of a sudden we gotta take a break and let
That's
him
fake
get himself.
foolishness.
We gotta take a break to let him get himself together. Did they take a break and let Pookie from down Sandtown get himself together? Absolutely
No.
not. They hoped you cried.
And you know what? It angers me. And, you know, because I had one of my young men, and actually, he did close to 2 years just waiting to go to court for a crime he did not commit, you know, for a crime. And actually, he's the one that got killed by that officer that killed 4 people and actually killed a father and a son, the same officer. His name was, the young man was named Eton Tanzimore. He was the one that they came and the officer got out the car and just started shooting him in the back. Now, that same young man had been arrested for something that he did not do. He got more time than this young man that actually killed 2 people.
Let me tell y'all something too, just so that you know out there in podcast land. That's why the point that the panel was making, they couldn't even get him a year or 2. He couldn't have lasted a year or 2 in the penal system. I'm telling you, man. Real
It was
talk.
going to be the penal system for real.
We'll get you, man.
The whole you gonna have to say a couple Hail Marys for that one, Doc.
You go to hell for that one, Doc. You go to hell for that one, Doc.
But this the
Wait a minute. How come when I say dicks, I'm all that wrong? But when Doc said all he gotta do is some Hail Marys, his was worse than mine. That was some PhD smooth. Hey, can I use that later, Doc?
You can.
I got you. Hey, that one went over my head. CC quarters, them 2 readers, they smart. CC quarters for me a penal system. I was damn. All right, go back.
And the thing about it that made me so angry was not only did you not go to prison, but you ain't even get probation. You ain't, I mean, absolute. You just gunned these people down in the street and you just went home. You just went home.
Just went home. Walked past the police.
Right.
They waved at him. They waved at him.
And you went home. So our black and brown boys who are doing nothing can't go home. Mm-hmm. Or somebody gunned them down in the street like a bunch of animals. But you gunned 2 people down in the street and wounded another one critically. And you could go home, still carrying the gun. You could go home.
That's crazy. And you know, I want to know, that's why we out here to talk about some things. And just so y'all don't see, life still goes on with his family and parents. They still got to answer the phone like I'm doing. Me and Cece have rental property. You know what I mean? So if this is touching on some of y'all toes, you dirty bastards, they run around living in people's houses and stuff. They run out of toilet paper and flushing the toilet with paper towels you done wiped your nasty ass with. Instead of getting some paper and then back up the systems and stuff. And then get mad at the homeowner, the guy to come down, the landlord, the guy come down there and rent $350 snakes and all that. And when the snake go down there, the first thing the man roll the roof and show you that it's just rags down there. Mm-hmm. Somebody put a rag down there, you know, probably put all your condoms down there, all your damn paper.
Baby. All right, keep going. Keep going.
That's why I was telling you, this is the things that people go, that his parents and all that guy. Cece, don't make me click you out.
Don't make me click you out.
The bottom line is people over there have real lives that's going. Calm down, see.
Talk about some real life venting right here.
This is real. Hey, listen, y'all. That's why I want y'all to know this is part of the topic. That's real life too.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm saying about his parents. His parents and the family is still going through regular stuff. Their life ain't just going to the trial and then the trial's over and then come back the next day. They still got to pay their bills. They still got to get Christmas. They still got to have dinner. I'm doing a podcast. I still got to answer the phone. I still got to talk to the person over there that's dropping the bounce off. Life still goes on. Cookie is still barking. You know what I mean? That you hear that? There's somebody at the front door with a package for CC. We ain't gonna talk about that. You know what I mean? But this is what I'm talking about. The situation that this family is placed in is not just this young man. There's no empathy for that family in the courtroom. They don't care about what's going on with them. They don't care about the bills. They don't care about, oh, the lawyers for free. Everybody stop thinking the lawyers are free. Who the hell told y'all that?
Right.
Who the hell keeps telling y'all that? We ain't going after real people and stuff like that with free lawyers. You know what I mean? Dr. Ray go give away some stuff down there. Didn't nobody donate and give it to him. Them suits, he probably bought them. He had to come over my house last night to get stuff to put the turkeys in to give to people.
Right, because the people backed out.
Huh? Yeah, the other people backed out. And guess who backed out? Drum roll, please. The church. That's who backed out. All the people, all the church gonna do. The church is the people that backs out too. They said they're gonna do something, don't do it. Then you got somebody like Doc sitting there taking the little family money. Wife probably don't know. He just snuck into the checking account and under the mattress and spending their money up. I'm telling you stuff because my wife is right. I gotta calm down. I'm down there dealing with something. It's by the time you collect the rent from your rental property, damn, you gotta put it right back in the property. Anybody don't know, Spotlight on Small Businesses, the Marjack, being a landlord and everything is cut out to be.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, you're a better man than me, man, because I said I will never do it again. Because so it's like they be asking me to go backwards. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and what's so bad about it is I'm like, now you ain't want to work with me, but now you pay the white man double.
Top down.
You pay him double, and then he wanted early, and he don't care about no sob story. He don't want to hear no story. He don't care. He like, yeah, you could tell him your mother got ran over by the MTA in front of you and everything else. He like, oh, that's unfortunate. Pay me.
But they got that new thing that they go to give the wonderful people. It's called late charge.
Oh yeah,
late charge on their rent every month, and they pay the people. When they go pay the people late, they pay them that $73 late charge. You won't even give me my money. More or less a late charge. Okay. Anyway, thank you for the energy and stuff on that topic. We just wanted to throw that out there for a little while. Doc, you got anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, you know, just really, you know, I just want us to just do wellness checks at this time period. You know, suicide is the highest during the holiday months. And so people are like, well, why? You know, there's so much good cheer. Well, actually, that's really the time that some people reflect that they don't have somebody, that they don't have people, you know, a lot of people that care about them in their lives. So, you know, we have to be mindful and just, you know, wave to people, say hello. You know, I mean, you know, check on somebody. I would just say, you know, just find, you know, one person, you know, check on them. And, you know, like I'm trying to, you know, to do something now and give out these, you know, these baskets. They hold baskets, you know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, I'm like right here. You can see, you know, I guess all of this, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if you can see it like that.
Yeah, we can see all of
it. You know, I'm sitting right here and I got a little corner of this table.
Hands up.
Thank you. You know,
yes,
I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
But if you know what? No, go ahead, brother.
That's all I was saying. If y'all don't know exactly, if I didn't give my usual formal introduction, that's Dr. Ted Sutton. We call him Dr. Ted Sutton because he has a PhD, i.e. he's a doctor. Dr. Ted Sutton at this time will tell you exactly a few of the groups that he started and he heads. He's going to be giving away something today. He'll tell you where that is. But Doc, I'd like you to tell a little bit more about yourself and some of the causes that you've started, your groups, please.
Well, the umbrella, which is, you know, the foundation is Sutton House Incorporated, Sutton House. And so everything under it is, I call it Sutton House Vision. And so I'm the founder of Men Against Murder. And that's where, you know, we bring together some brothers and also sisters. But, you know, we want to impact what's going on with the murder that's out here. So if we have to support a family, help them, let them know, you know what I'm saying? We deal with everything from trying to resolve a beef that's going on to really just, if we have to, you know, let somebody, you know, talk to somebody so that they can vent, you know, about what's going on, you know, with that. And also the piece is people can change ministries, you know, and people can change youth movement. And that's really just trying to be there, you know, the same way you got some people that will never go in a church. But I feel the church need to go to them. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that, you know, that to me, it's no corner that I'm too good to go to. To me, it's no trap house that, you know, that I'm too good or too bougie that I can't, you know, try to help somebody who was in there. And I think that that's the mentality that we're going to have to take to really, you know, turn certain things around. Because like a lot of people want to complain about what's going on, but they don't want to do nothing. So to me, I'm like, you know, you got people that they don't vote, but they complain about who got in. Then you got people who, you know what I'm saying, they complain about the situation with what's happening on the streets, but they ain't doing nothing about it. Meaning, like, and I'm not saying to do some of the crazy stuff that I've done, like running in, burning buildings and taking homeless people into your house and, you know, taking your personal money. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, my washing machine just went up. I need to be putting this money. You know, I was looking, look, see, CC and Marty, I had my money in my hand and I'm looking at the money and I'm like, okay, I need to get this new washing machine. And then I'm looking at the same money that I'm buying all these turkeys with to give away. I'm like, yo, you really are crazy, Ted, for real. It's like, because you still doing crazy stuff. And I'm like, because that don't make no sense, because the average person just supposed to say, well, it ain't work out. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you supposed to just, you know, they okay with just letting people down. But for me, you know what I'm saying? You know, if I give my word that I'm going to do something, my word means something. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that really is not as significant nowadays as it used to be. You know what I'm saying? To me, you know, a contract was a handshake. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To me, you know what I'm saying? When you put your word out there, and then when you cannot do it, just like if you're saying you're going to pay somebody on next Friday, and Friday come and people see you in the casino or see you at the mall shopping and this, that, and the third, but you done forgot about, you know, all that other stuff. And I'm just like, well, why do we borrow money with a smile and pay it back with a frown?
Ah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? If your word, you know what I'm saying, means something, then we should be able to just, you know, be like, you know what, yeah, things ain't really work out the best, but we gonna still try to do the best that we can do. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how that is. So, you know, I would say, you know, let us, you know, do these, you know, different things. I mean, as far as with that, I'm also, you know, motivational speaker, you know what I'm saying, going around. I'm also a certified gang intervention specialist, and I'm also a certified community organizer. And I was trained under a man named Arnie Graff, who was Barack Obama's mentor in Chicago in community organizing. So, you know, we go into communities and try to assess, you know, what some of the needs. We talk to the people, and then we try to see how we can bring the people together to bring a strong infrastructure to help change what's going on, you know, down there. In fact, actually, I'm going to one of the places in Mississippi, and this is a place that definitely has had some major challenges, you know, there, and we want to bring a message of hope, you know. So wherever I'm going, that's what I want to do, you know. In fact, I got to show you something. Hold on one second.
I think these dogs just want to be on the show. Every time we get on here, somebody dog bark.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is you know, and I don't know if you can really see it like that. This is the
We can see
it's
it.
all
Hold it straight.
glass.
Right there, Doc. What does it
You
say?
know, it actually is the Chester High School. You know, actually, you know, gave me the and here I'll read it. You know, because it's all clear through, you can see it. You know what I'm saying? But they gave me yeah, they did. It said they gave me 2021 Man of the Year award, you know, presented to Dr. Ted Sutton, and it says for the outstanding service and work in our communities and schools. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's signed by the people who are the with the school system, and also, you know, the principal, and also the student president.
Well done,
Man,
Doc.
that's
Well
great,
done.
And I was just so taken back and so amazed, you know, with that, just to have that opportunity. I mean, I don't take stuff lightly. I guess some people be like, oh, well, that always happens. No, I'm glad that I still feel in awe that God used somebody who didn't think he was almost anything. You know what I'm saying? You know, in fact, even when I was out there wearing them furs and all this and that, I didn't think I was beautiful. I just felt like, you know, I knew I was tough, and I was hardcore, and you know what, and I'm gonna live, and I would have never imagined even to just pass away, you know, in a hospital bed, you know, at 100 or 80 or 75 or 65. I never even imagined, you know, getting to the age that I am now. I never expected to get to my 30s, nor my 40s. And then to have children, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I just never would have thought it. So to me, you know, to be on this show right now, I feel blessed. I feel really blessed. And actually, and that was something that I was telling Party yesterday, and I said, you know what? One thing I thank God for is that when I see people and I see you doing good, God has not put a level envy in me. So I don't see you with your car and I want your car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm happy you got a good car. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm happy I know somebody that got some resources, because a lot of times most of the people I know, they don't. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, so when people are blessed, and I think that you have to be able to just really, you know, protect your gift. You know what I'm saying? And because a lot of times when we focusing on somebody else's gift, we taking the focus off of the gift that God gave us. You know what I'm saying? And so we won't, you know, kind of focus on that. And so we really, you know, got to be able to encourage people and different things, because I was so disappointed, you know, with how the things I've been seeing going on with the courts, because it's people are not really understanding the damage that has been done. You know, when Obama was there, they didn't want to really work with him. Trump got in what was I call a black lash, because he was kind of like slingshotted. He was slingshotted in because people, you know what I'm saying, was trying to make up for when Obama was in there.
Right. And they
You know
said
what I'm
they
saying?
already had a black president. Nowhere in the world was they going to have a woman behind that.
No,
Absolutely.
no,
Yeah.
no, no. You know what I'm saying? In fact, people was mad that Kamala Harris got received the powers of the presidency, and they was for the time that she did when he had to have his surgery, when he was had to be put under anesthesia. They had to put all of the powers of the president. So she has become the first black woman president. You know what I'm saying? And people were mad, but actually it was only 85 minutes. But they were mad, saying, you know, that it didn't even happen. They didn't even want to be under a black woman, you know what I'm
For
saying, for
85 minutes.
85 minutes. You know what I'm
But
saying?
you know
Who
what,
just
Doc? That's part of the reason why they hate us so much. Because
Mhm.
no matter what, we are just so resilient. No
Yes,
matter
yes.
what, no matter how many times they put their foot on our neck, no matter how many underhanded tricks
We
they
gotta
try
do
to
it.
pull to make us think that our lives don't matter, no matter how
Come
many
on now.
underhanded tricks that they pull to try to make us think that the lives of our children don't matter, we just keep
Okay,
coming.
go get the hardware. Go get the
We just keep
Hmm.
drink.
coming, and we gonna keep coming, and they know it, you know. So that's part of the reason why they hate us so. That's part of the reason why they do all these little underhanded things to us, because no matter what, they can knock us down, but they can't keep us down. They can't keep us down because we still gonna have the Dr. Ted Suttons of the world. We still gonna have the Party Martys of the world. You know,
Right,
mine try
right.
to put on like he Mr. Tough Guy and he's so hard and all this, that, and the third. people always call funny. They try to go through me because they think that if they go through me, they can get a yes. They just don't know. I'm the one that always say no. They don't know. All these questions always come from him, but he don't want to do it to their face because he don't want them to think he got soft in his old age. So he always tell them, Cece said it was okay. No, y'all, that's him. He the one that's soft. He the one, and I ain't gonna say that I don't do my part. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
I do my part because I know that as a wife, I'm a reflection of my husband.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? And I do the things that are in my heart as well. But trust and believe, all this good fortune that's bestowed on all these people, sometimes I just be thinking in my head, oh Lord, here he come. I started calling him Bob Barker because he done gave away so many cars for free. I mean, anybody that come over here, and don't let it be a holiday. If you come over
Mhm.
here on a holiday and you down on your luck, your car broke down, you don't have no way to work, you too may leave with a car.
You know
So
what? It's funny you say that because you know what? See, when you are humble, that's not something that you give yourself. That's something that other people give you. And really, even though what I'm saying, my nephew Brandon, which is also his nephew, I met him, really through Brandon. I'm talking about as far
Correct.
as how highly he
How
talked about him. Brandon
Okay.
talked about him so highly. And what his statement and the last statement that he put on it, he said, yeah, Ted, he said he kind of a you. You know what I'm saying? And see, and I don't meet no me's. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Right.
meet a lot of people like me that help and that feed and that give and that fix. They used to call me the fixer. You know what I'm saying? And so I love that his name is Party. And I said, because that was one part that was missing out of my life. You know what I'm saying? People don't call me for the party. They call me to fix the situation.
they
You know what I'm
call you for
saying?
the eulogy.
Yeah. So I be on some goon patrol, you know what I'm saying? So they call me for the rough stuff. And so, you know what, but to say that, I think it's such a blessing. When I came to the house the other day, I saw the beautiful lights and I was like, man, I said, man, they could probably see that from the satellite. You know, I said, I bet you the space shuttle. I said, didn't I tell you that? I said, you could probably see that from the space shuttle, brother. And but you know what? But there wasn't an ounce of envy in me because the next thing that I said, and I said, I'd like to bring my children up here, and I said, so that they can see you flip the switch and turn it on. You know what I'm saying? So immediately I didn't get into, I wasn't thinking, oh, I wish I had all them lights. I wish that, I wish that my front yard looked. No, immediately, like I'm like, man, I thank God for this brother that has done this. He's blessed. And you know what? My children can share in on some of this blessing. And he's okay with me doing that. He's okay
Thank
with
you
me,
very much.
so I don't have to have it if I got a brother that is okay with me being able to bring my family in front of the house and just watch it. You see what I'm saying? And so if we had more of a world that was like that, a person not envious somebody having it, and then a person that is willing to do for the people and it not be taken advantage of.
For free.
See, that's the one problem. See, people like to look at people like us, and the ones that really get it wrong, they don't get it. That's the ones who think it's an ATM machine. I'm a walking ATM machine. They don't see that's love me I'm giving to you. You know what I'm saying? That's love me giving it to you. You know what I'm saying? So you so blinded by you trying to get the money, you miss the whole focus. So you ain't get the love, which is more important than the money.
Right.
All
Hey,
you did was have your hand out.
yeah.
Hey,
You
Gina.
know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Hey,
what's up?
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us, Gina. Doc, you speak so well. I mean, I'm glad for your education and what have you. Shout out to turning your life around and all that. But I just want people to realize this is a genuine brother. This is a genuine brother, man. This brother, you know what I'm sitting here doing, y'all. My wife complains sometimes because I give the panel what I have to offer. You know, I mean, Gina says always the same. You know, Doc's out saving the world, not saving Baltimore, saving the world. She always talks about that, Doc. Whenever you come up, Gina, make sure to give you, you know what I mean. You give you your accolades. Even though when he go to Hawaii with the family, he going to Hawaii on business. He may take the family and tell them that y'all here, we taking y'all to Hawaii. You going to Hawaii, but they're gonna be speaking 4 out of those 8 days that he's here. So he's there on business and stuff. I just want y'all to know. I'm sitting here playing around, mixing and matching. We put up our Christmas decorations. Well, put up some of them. And the day the guy's supposed to come finish putting up the lights, can't put up the lights because I got to deal with the rental problem. And now, Doc, as you were saying about the turkeys, Cece don't know. She would sit over there and laugh and grin, but I'm on my way up there when we finish to ask her for some money. Because I just now look back at the account. You know what I mean? Saving the world, putting up the lights, doing this, doing that. Jesus, man. I mean, it's like somebody go in your account sometimes, Gina. You ever look at your money and want to know where did it go? I mean, just a minute ago, I was telling the girls, go ahead, go to lunch. I got that. Give them what they want. You get a car. I get a car. I'm looking, man, back there as usual. When it's all over with, Ted, our wives go off. People on the outside see your wife and say, oh, yeah, she married to Dr. Ted. And oh, they okay. They finance secure. You know, Cece married to Party Marty. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? That's what Cece said. Yeah, right. Party Marty, get ready to come right upstairs in the drawer where the wallets are and go right past his wallet into my purse, like you always do.
But guess what, Gina? Next week he'll be telling me your money low. How could your money be low? See?
All them random acts of kindness kind of add up, don't they?
Yeah, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But
yeah, but I just say it's just funny. Hey, Gina, today we talked about a few topics. Anything I know is getting into the show. Anything you want to talk about? You got anything in particular? Burning desire.
We want to know what you think about Arbery and Rittenhouse. We got to get there first.
Okay, well, Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse, we already know, and we've already discussed. Pretty much everybody that was involved in that was all in one pocket, and we were in the other. So, it wasn't surprising. It wasn't surprising at all. Anytime the judge would let him take a break for crying, come on, and that wasn't even crying. That was not
one tear.
Not one tear. So, you know, I mean, it is what it is. The only thing is, we as a people have to keep striving. We cannot, let the system just dictate where we go from here. Now, I just watched the closing arguments for the prosecution for the Arbery case. Dana Kowski, I think is her name, Dana Kowski. And she was brilliant. I'm telling you. She broke that thing down. And I don't know whether y'all heard the defense attorney that got up yesterday.
Yeah, we talked about the toenail comment.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I was
so
like,
offensive.
I was like, she said, what? And they didn't reprimand her. They didn't say anything about it or whatever. You're going to degrade. What the heck did his darn toenails have to do with him dying? I mean, and even on Court TV, they were like, at first everybody was shocked, but then everybody was like, well, is she going to use this as some kind of lead-in to say, well, he couldn't be a runner because he had long toenails, or just something, because they said no attorney is supposed to bring up a fact unless it leads into a real topic,
right? Unless it's relevant.
It's not. It was. It led into nothing. It was simply being rude. She talked about his hair. She talked about, how he was dressed. Then you go talk about his toenails, and to say that he had no socks on. I guess, I'm like, what does that have to do with his death? So anyway, going back to the prosecution, she even addressed the jury and said she didn't specifically talk about the toenails, the hair, the clothes, blah. She said what you heard was legalese 101. She said that was just because they had nothing else. They thought they would try to get to your sense of just addressing how he looked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
playing to the emotions of that all white jury.
yeah,
Damn near all white.
But see, if they can diminish him and belittle him to make him seem less than, see, then maybe we don't have to hold upstanding white men who were doing good things for the community and they wanted to be patriots, you know, and then we have this young man that doesn't even wear socks and his feet are dirty and he is probably comes from a dirty situation and he is probably less than. Because see, that picture, they don't even like that picture with him graduating. You know, they don't like that picture. They don't like the picture with that nice smile. Look like he could just be somebody that just delivered your mail. Have a good day, ma'am. You know, have a nice smile. They don't want that. They want to change the narrative to really you see him to be somebody who doesn't take care of himself. So apparently he does not think good about himself, so he doesn't think good about his own community, and so he had to. His mentality was, "I'm an animal. I want to steal something, and then I'll try to run away, and then if you try to hold me accountable, I'm going to fight you to the death." And and so she's trying to change the narrative to try to make him less than. That's what all of that was for.
They always try to create these false narratives that have absolutely nothing to do with anything. Just the whole from the start, this whole thing have just got under my skin since it started. Because I just want to know, what do you steal from a house that's under construction if you don't have no car, no bag, nothing in your hand? And the house that's under construction, there's nothing in there normally but sheetrock, 2x4s, some I mean, what is it? What is it?
She broke it down so well, because she took the footage of him going in the house. She was like, okay, he just walked past a $500 lawnmower. He didn't even touch it. She said, and then she said, you'll recall that the previous defense attorneys tried to say that it was dark in there. She said, does he look like he's stumbling around? Like, where is everything? No. She said, where it was moonlight, sunlight, whatever it was, he wasn't, like in there just blindly. So he wasn't, it wasn't like he was just like searching for anything, She disputed everything down to why you had to include the guy that was driving the truck and filmed the video. It had to include him with the charges along with the other two, because they were trying to say that the father, because he was in the back of the truck, that he shouldn't be charged, that only the son should even be considered for the charge. She said, oh, no. When you charge a person, and she broke it down what the law said. And this is she said, if you go in a bank and and y'all all go in the bank and this one robs the bank and shoots the security guard, all of y'all go to jail. All of them.
Hands up. Hands up. Hands up.
And then she even finished the case with she got, because she was talking, but when she got to the end, she said, this is a case of a black man jogging through a neighborhood and they didn't think he should be. She got real calm. And then she said, and she had we couldn't see him. They said they're not allowed to show it on television. But she had one picture, that picture you talking about, Doc, with him with the cap like this. She had that picture on this side, big blown up picture. And on this side, she had an autopsy picture.
Mm.
Wow. I know that had to be powerful.
Yes, it was.
She was like, this man was reduced to this by them.
Damn.
And the whole thing about it, you know, Gina, that's so interesting about this whole thing. Difference between us and some other people. Let me just say that. Any one of us, we would take the charge for our child.
Yeah.
But instead, his father trying to is okay with them saying, my son was the one that really did it. I was in the back seat. So that say a lot about your character right there, Elder McMichaels.
And then throw your neighbor under the bus.
You know? Anybody but me. Anybody but me. Now I don't.
They was throwing each other under the bus, under that same bus.
And then I mean, she even said she had everything. I'm telling you, she had so much information. She was saying that the guy, she brought up all the people who had been in that house prior to Ahmaud Arbery going in the house.
A lot of them.
A lot of them. And they even, there was a homeless couple that had gone in the house, and they said that the person that owned it, Espinoza, I think his name is, said that they had taken something. And McMichael and the son Travis had gone down to some bridge or something that the homeless people lived under to confront them about whatever it was, you know. So she was saying this is a pattern for them, you know. They think that they can take authority into their own hands and just run with it, you know. They're not the police. And she was showing how the difference between the man who owned the property, he called the police when he thought somebody had taken something in his property. He was like, I ain't called y'all.
And never asked them to intervene. He already said he never asked for their help.
No, he didn't. He was like, I ain't asked for him to go police my property. I got cameras. He said, he said, in fact, I told the police officer when I talked to him on the phone, all I want you to do is ask them not to come back, because when the cameras go off, it goes off on his phone and it wakes him up, you know, constantly all night long. So he was like, you know, just ask him not to come back. He ain't have no trespassing signs. He ain't have no fences, no nothing, because he wasn't worried about the property. He said the only thing he was worried about is if perhaps a child went in there and maybe climbed up on something and fell, you know. So that was the reason he had insurance, and, you know, and everything, just in case a child got hurt. But he said he wasn't worried about, you know, anybody. He said the property has been open for 7 months at that point in February, and nobody took anything.
And the thing that's so crazy, Gina, is that, like, I always thought that, I don't know, it's something about the climate of the world today where we think that property is more valuable than life. You know, the McMichaels thought he stole something. Rittenhouse went down there to protect somebody's car lot and killed 2 people and critically wounded another. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but you can't even, if somebody breaking your house, then you can't. What did you say before, Maurice? That you can't shoot a person for stealing something like that. Say it.
Yeah, you know that, first of all, Maryland does not have a self-defense law. If you're not in imminent danger, and you don't have no reason to get a gun and go travel, as Dr. Ted said, 2-3 states over, and say that you're going to protect, as you saying, somebody's washing machine. I want to see they don't bust nobody window. You don't have the authority to do that. And the doc came up. Let me get in here for a minute. Here's a few points out there. Podcast land. Points are being made. Doc said that this person that's 17 years old actually broke the law when he took his weapon and traveled from state to state. Said that he broke a law with that. Another point that was made that Cunningham put out there, Miss Taylor's a real name. Karen said that an assault weapon. He didn't get caught with a handgun. He had no 9 or nothing like. He had an assault rifle. A 17-year-old that was driven by his mother. Her decision maker is poor and best. She should have locked her dumb ass up too. She took her son state to state to go over there to be part of this. So this poison right there wasn't just this kid. He was poisoned from his family on up. That's another point. Dr. Ted said that this gentleman, this judge, actually literally, like we do, literally knew this boy's father. Said that he literally, didn't you say, Doctor, this judge actually knew his father, knew him, like speak like me and you talking.
Yeah, well, I don't know how well he knew him. I know that they met and they're doing an investigation on that right now.
And Gina jumps in there with being recused. Some of this stuff mean that you shouldn't have been on the panel.
Exactly.
You go over there and start talking about you can't call this person a thief, the person that just got, you know what I mean? You can't call him a victim. You know what I mean? And when you start doing this, this is shady.
Yeah.
And see, even he made so many racial innuendos out there. Like when they ordered some food, he was saying that, oh, the Korean, or it's Chinese food. He said, hopefully it's not on that boat out in the bay, and which makes no sense. He was making reference. He was making reference to the backlog of ships that haven't been able to get in, because that means that he's against Biden. That means that he's against Biden. He made that reference. You know good and well, if you order something from Golden Dragon, that ain't coming off of nobody's ship.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You know if they made a placed an order, for some Chinese food to come, good and well it's not coming from China. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that makes no sense. So for him to make that statement, and all of those other statements that he was making here and there, he was doing little slick stuff here and there, saying this, saying that, and it really shows that and like what now, let me ask this party, what person do you know has had the opportunity to pick their own jurors by themselves?
Are you crazy? Are you crazy?
I mean, he let this little boy, saying, go in the box.
Like
saying, like he playing bingo. Saying, and he's picking jurors for himself. Do you understand how that even sounds? That's insane. But it shows this, and see, I'm gonna tell you, people have to understand that this goes deeper than just Rittenhouse. See, to me, one of the most dangerous things that actually Trump did was to put in over 200 judges that think like him.
Yes.
That is one of the number one most dangerous out of all the stuff that he was doing, even talking trash to China and, in North Korea, all this, out of all the crazy stuff that he has done, almost got us in 2 wars. Out of all this stuff, the most, to me, significant thing was to put lifetime judges that think like him.
Yeah.
And that's so how many black boys has he sent to jail?
And they said he's the senior judge.
Yeah.
I think he's been the longest serving judge in that state.
Yeah. I think he's been on there for 30 plus years, 37 years, something like that. Yeah.
And then to add insult to injury on top of all of this, I don't know if y'all heard this, but now Kyle Rittenhouse is saying that him and his legal team are trying to see what they can do about President Biden, because President Biden, what did he say, defamed him in a post that he put on social media when he was talking about to the white supremacists and all of this, and he played a clip of the video from with him killing those people. So now him and his legal team are trying to see what action that they can take against President Biden. I mean, this thing just get more ridiculous.
They offered him a job.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I told them. They offered him a job.
Make no daggone sense.
He
I
wants
just-
to see what
you
legal
know-
action he can take against the president of the United States for defaming him. I said, now,
But
I
I'm
mean,
gonna tell you though.
But to
Go ahead,
me,
Jay.
they set a precedence. I'm gonna tell you. I mean, and not that I'm actually for it, but I tell you, if the situation is reversed, and you got a young black man that actually happened to just be found with a weapon, you know what I'm saying, and it wasn't legal, he wasn't illegal, and he wasn't doing nothing wrong. I don't want to see them getting all this time they be giving these boys.
How about that?
I do not want to see
How
all
about
this
that?
time they've been getting these books because he
about
did
that?
not have it. He did not. It wasn't registered in his name because he got to be 18. He did not have a permit to carry because you got to be at least 18. You know, and so
and
to
if,
me,
and if
the
it
time they be
was
giving these young
registered in his-
boys,
if it was registered in his name, Doc, there's another crime.
But how about the fact that it's like nobody is taking into consideration you killed 2 people.
oh, they ain't worrying about that.
That's what I said. The 2 lives that were lost and the man whose lives will forever be changed by his bullet. Nobody gave a damn because they supported Black Lives Matter. They weren't black people, but they were supporters of Black Lives
But you
Matter.
came all the way from another state to defend what, an empty parking lot?
Right. An empty, fully insured parking lot that anything that was damaged or destroyed would have been replaced.
Right.
But look at the pattern though. Like with Trayvon Martin, Zimmerman didn't own nothing that boy had.
Nope.
Those 3 men didn't own nothing that boy while he was jogging through. They didn't own nothing. He hadn't touched nothing they owned.
Nothing.
So it's a level of entitlement and white privilege. Like you know what, you may not have done absolutely nothing, but because it's in my mind, it's real. You are black, so most likely 99.999% you did something.
Yep.
And I'm gonna come after you.
And the prosecutor even had McMichael on tape saying just what you just said. He's jogging fast past the house, so he must have done something.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, if he ain't have no bag or no knapsack and he wearing little shorts, you ain't a good criminal.
Right?
Exactly.
He had no
You are the worst
bag,
criminal in the world. You don't even have nothing to hide nothing.
not a getaway vehicle, not a bag.
You know what else?
Not even a pair of socks to stick it in.
You know what else he pointed out? Because when Travis shot him, right? You know how they have blood splatter and because he shot him twice, right? He actually shot 3 times, but 2 actually hit him. The blood splattered all over the McMichael's truck, and now this is something I didn't know. They had actually been following him for 5 minutes.
Over a quarter of a mile.
Yeah, and he had run back twice and ran forward. So the Rudy Bryan or whatever his name, he stopped him at one end while the McMichaels came up to cut him off at the other. And that he was and they yelling at stuff. The Bryant guy, he had run him off the road into a ditch already prior to them shooting him. And so, I mean, if somebody is trying to run you off the road and hollering at you, and and even the prosecutor said this. She said when they asked the McMichaels, well, what did you say to him? They were like, well, we were asking, him to could we ask him some questions like that? She was like, do you really think You know, that's how she was talking to you. She said, do you really? We don't believe that, do we? You know that this is all for show. She said they were saying, stop. I said,
Mhm.
stop.
Mhm.
She said, they can't order him to stop. He's a citizen,
Right.
just like they are. They don't
Let
have
me
the
tell you,
authority to tell him or to order him to stop. And they
I,
don't have the authority to make him answer any questions.
That's right.
I can say
Any
this.
questions. And I was getting so I was like, go ahead, girl, tear him apart. But then, I didn't realize I thought he was running, and then somehow the McMichaels got ahead of him at another street, and the other guy just kind of like was following behind. I didn't realize he had run back and forth and back and forth. I didn't realize that. And the guy in the back that filmed it had actually run him off the road already.
Mm-hmm.
So when
let me
he got
tell you.
into the other truck and saw them yelling at him, he was trying to go around to get away from them. So it's like stuff like that. Just like I'm like, oh damn, they actually cornered him like a deer in the woods.
Well, they said they trapped him like a rat. That was their own words, that they trapped him like a rat.
I want y'all to think about this. Not only was he murdered and lying dead in the street. I want you to think about a 17-year-old, the fear that must have been running through him at this time while he's being blocked in. Can you imagine the fear? Cece owns a Range Rover. My wife's Range Rover sits high in the air. It's a menacing truck. It's a big truck. Wonderful people own trucks. They're bigger than a Range Rover. So they're probably cut off. They probably hunt you. When you in a truck looking down at somebody, you feel a sense of power. So when you're down looking up, you feel a sense of fear. Can you imagine the fear that this young boy, this 17-year-old boy, had running through him right before being murdered? I want you to think about the last 10 minutes of his life. They chased him, like Gina said, they chased him down. They chased him for 5 minutes, back and forth, trapping him. Then they jumped out on him, they grabbed him. Then they shot him at point blank, and they said, well, he hit him first. What the hell would you do? I don't care if you're a person. I don't care where you at. You fighting for your life. I'm swinging Fernandez. It'll never got there with me. I ain't saying I'd have got away with it, but when he first pulled over in that truck, I'm hitting somebody in the damn mouth then. That's because of my self-preservation. I'm a grown man that's been incarcerated, and I come from West Baltimore. We know that this kid probably ain't never been in nothing like that. Doc said he in a fist fight with his life. Even me, I ain't never been in a fight where I thought somebody could beat me to death. Can you imagine the fear that this boy went through? Now Gina's just now telling us, y'all out there, are you listening? Is anybody listening? They shot this boy and the blood splattered on the truck.
But this is what I want to say. Wait a minute. This is what I want to say. The prosecutor pointed out that they drove away in the truck that they came in. The crime scene was simply around Ahmaud Arbery. They did not put the tape around their trucks or search them.
But when they locked them up, didn't they? What they told
they didn't lock them up for 2 months,
and they didn't. In the first,
wait a minute. At the scene, after they shot him at the scene, the police didn't physically handcuff him, beat their rights or nothing.
No.
The head DA told them not to. They told the police not to because she knew him. He actually called her and he actually told him, he left a message for her saying, I really got to talk to you and everything.
He worked for her.
They didn't lock him up. In fact, that was one reason why she had to recuse herself.
And had their own evidence not sunk them, They may have not got locked up.
If
The
it,
only
it
reason that they
wouldn't
got
have
locked up was because that video got leaked to the public.
been.
And it was
And
their video.
it
And
was
it
the
was their
video,
video.
and his mother kept pressing because she wanted to know what happened. They wouldn't even release the video to her. She wanted to know what happened to my son. And why aren't y'all pressing charges? Right? So
So when were they actually physically read their rights and taken into custody? How
2 months
long?
later.
2 months
Dang.
later.
Dang.
2 whole months later. And if
And I
it
don't
wasn't
think they
for-
locked them
this
both
what
up at the same time. I think they locked up one and then came back for the other one.
other one. Yep.
Are they locked
See,
up
to
now?
me, that's yes. But to
All
me,
of them locked
that's when that's when you giving people time to taint evidence.
Right.
See, that's why you're supposed to lock up and secure everything and get statements at the exact moment. In fact, actually, his statement actually hurt him because actually what he said is that later he said he did not, he said that he tried to grab a shotgun. But when they took the fresh statement in the very beginning, he said that he didn't remember if he tried to grab his gun or not. So you're
And
not
then-
gonna remember at the scene, but you're gonna remember 2 months later. You
And
know what I'm
then
saying?
on the
Crazy.
stand, he said that he never threatened them. They asked him that question specifically. Did Ahmaud Arbery threaten you? He said, no, he never threatened me.
And today, when they showed, the prosecutor had pictures from the video behind, where they're showing him going around the truck. When he gets out of view on the passenger side of the truck, she has a blown up picture of the back of the truck, and you can look underneath the truck because the truck is so high off the ground.
Right.
You can look underneath the truck and see where Travis was when he shot him. The first shot was right in front of the truck, which meant that Travis had to go out his door, around to the front of the truck, and the gun had to be at firing position. Because he tried to say that, he had his gun up here and that they were fighting for the gun, and that's how it just went off. No, you went around to the front of the truck, and it shows his feet right underneath the front bumper.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows the shadow of the gun, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
She had it. I was like, "No, girl, you all right with me?" But I just, so much stuff came out. I just sat there like, wow. And when she said they let the police, when the police testified way back in the beginning, when he said, I didn't know what was my medical training was not such that I could save a person in that bleed out state. You're a police officer.
But he didn't even try.
You know what I'm saying? But you ain't gonna, I'm sorry, you ain't gonna tell me you don't know CPR. I'm sorry.
Right.
Or
That's
basic,
officially part of their
which is
training.
Which is a basic part of their training.
even if you don't know.
And you know what?
You know,
That's grounds to sue the entire police station. That's grounds to sue the entire police station because that means that you didn't receive the training that should have actually saved my child's life.
He said he was still breathing. He said it.
Let me first of all, great points, everybody. Thank you very much. Awesome job, panel. Now, let me get in there 1 second. With all this damning, incriminating, common sense evidence against all these people, how do we get here, y'all? How are they doing these heinous things and walking away with this? I mean, how are they killing us? How are they firing us? I mean, how are they doing it? We going backwards. We're going backwards, man. We're going backwards. Go ahead, Gina.
I was just gonna say, because it's just like what Doc said. The worst thing that could happen is we have people in power who are being put there by basic, supremacists, basically.
Mhm.
This man's heinous crime, ex-President Trump. This man's heinous crime that he did to the persons of color will probably go on for a decade
At least.
Mhm.
before we
least.
even hit the tip of the iceberg. I didn't, and there's persons like myself, like I tell you, I'm no reader, don't have a degree in anything. When this is all over with, I'm going upstairs. I'm gonna sit still for a minute because I'm going through some other things, dealing with life goes on with me. Still got to deal with money issues and all this kind of stuff like that. And then I have a big event over my house on Sunday. Y'all know you invited. You coming because y'all friends and family. Everybody out there in podcast. Man. Cece puts it on real big for after Thanksgiving. She calls it Thanksgiving dinner, but we never have it on Thanksgiving because we want everybody to be with their families. Everybody have your own little division family thing, but it's on Sunday. We put it on big. All those persons that you're looking to be here at our home, and Cece cooks for 2 days. And if you want to talk about ribs, Cece ribs out the smoker to die for. But we'll have a lot here. But like I'm saying, it costs money to entertain 100 people or so in your home. You feel me? That's it. That's all. So I'm dealing with that. But I just want y'all to think about this. This man, you can say whatever you want about Donald Trump. You can call him idiot, you can call him bigot, you can call him whatever you want. But this wonderful person had a plan.
Calculated.
And it's working. That
lady used to say
think about
in my life. Could it be Satan?
But I didn't think about that. That's why we had this. And shout out to my wife, the engineer, who actually puts a lot of this stuff together, these formats and stuff. The format that she came up with today was a great one. Gina, you missed some of it. All we've been doing is talking about these trials. All we've been doing, no topics, no nothing, just form everybody, ask some questions and stuff. We got Doc here with a PhD answering some questions.
Congratulations, Doc. I did see. I thought you was putting up your plaque there.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. This, now he said something that I didn't even think about. Cece said generations. Gina said generations. Doc said something that was heavy as I don't know what. A judge doesn't get grandfathered out. You don't have to retire at 65, nothing like that. He said that judge, this one that just done it, but been in power for over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
The one that was in charge of just that broke every law there was. You know how powerful that is?
Mm-hmm.
200 of these bad bastards running around doing whatever they want to do. And they go off and tell us my family, Carolyn Hill, who's our accountant, does our taxes, and is our go-to person with numbers. The funniest thing told me that they had her at CC. Remember they said they had her locked out of Facebook? She was in Facebook jail about something. She ain't even aggressive. She don't talk aggressive or nothing like that. She just said the wrong thing. The Facebook told her they punished her for a month, a week, or whatever they do. Now, what if you lawless? What if you got the power, like everybody is saying here? He appointed these people with indefinite power for undetermined amount of time. That was a hell of a smart move, Mr.
But the power move in all of that was the way he changed the composition of the Supreme Court, because that's a lifetime appointment.
Yeah.
Tell us about what is that? What do you mean about that, Cece? What is that you talking?
They changed the balance.
Right. He changed the balance because he put two justices on there that were conservative, that think like him. So at first it was kind of even. You know what I'm saying? Because they had liberals and then they had the conservatives, but he switched the balance so that it would be
Mhm.
more conservative than liberal, so that even if, say, a judge like Cahill is sanctioned or something, you know, the highest court in the land is the Supreme Court. It will probably have to go through the Supreme Court in order to remove him from the bench. But Trump made sure that there were people on there that's going to think the same way that he thinks. So those
Mhm.
conservative judges that's out here doing this bidding or whatever, if they get brought before the Supreme Court, you think they're going to remove them?
He also wants to be known as the person that overturned Roe versus Wade. That's
Mm-hmm.
one of the things, and he needed the balance to be changed, and so they wouldn't allow Obama to be able to put that Supreme Court justice. They kept on fighting it. They kept on fighting it until he got into power, and then he put him in. Then when that last one passed, he put another one in, and so it
Mm-hmm.
ended up changing the balance of so where it was half and half, and it should be even, so we can have an
Mm-hmm.
even
And
slate.
that
You
last
know,
justice that he put in, the female, I think her name was Bird, if I'm not mistaken. Uber super conservative. You know what I'm saying? So
right, right.
she definitely is not going to be on the side of people being pro-choice or anything like that. So you know,
Or
he that
anything
was
for a minority.
right. That was calculated. That was a power play before
Exactly.
he left.
He
I
just
mean,
mad
it's
that
just
they
like
didn't rule in his favor for certain things. That's all that was. But
Because that's
because
what he
he
called
wanted them to
himself
keep him
doing.
in power. He
He
really wanted them
depended
to
on
keep him
that.
in power. He wanted them to commit their loyalty to them. To him actually. So it's just an unfortunate situation because the statue with the scale and the lady with the blindfold is supposed to mean that this is it don't matter what level you on, but clearly the Dred Scott case, what I'm saying, definitely proved that it said the Constitution didn't have us in mind when it
not at
was
all.
saying to protect us, people of color.
That's
You
it.
know, y'all. First of all, everybody, thank you. That's why our damn podcast land. Just why I don't read. Why I don't read a goddamn thing. And it's just overwhelming, man. This got me sweating, got me up and down, man. That's why I just watch westerns and play pinochle. The bad guys wear black, the good guys have a white hat. You say something, y'all go out in the middle of the street, you get your gun, I give my gun. Life real simple, man. This chess, man, it's overwhelming, all this stuff, man. This is crazy. This is crazy, y'all. But on that note, I bet you I'm gonna do better. I bet you I'm gonna do better. I bet you I'm gonna do a little reading, not a lot. I'm gonna read a book or two, and gotta have a few pictures in it. I'm not reading none of CC books, but CC books don't. None of them got no pictures in them. There ain't no pictures in every book she read. No pictures nowhere. And Doc over there, the family telling him he's been on here forever. Gina gotta get ready to go make sure the kids make it back across the street. We've been on here over 2 hours just talking about things. Important things happening in the world today. From y'all out here.
I don't know if it helped anybody that watched, but just talking to y'all, I'm telling you, I was so, and there's some other things that happened that we didn't even get to, that we'll get to Thursday. But I was so.
I'm gonna tell you what it did to me. It ruined my self-esteem. It let me know how much I don't know about nothing. I know Roe versus Wade. I heard of it, but when everybody else talk about all these topics, everybody know what they talking about except me. Go ahead, Joanna.
No, but what I will say to you though is you have a knowledge of common sense and street knowledge that say a person like myself doesn't have. You see what I'm saying? So don't think that you're not as smart, because you might have more intelligence than some other people in certain areas. You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
Don't, don't
Yeah.
never put yourself down as far as
Oh,
intelligence.
you know, I never
Right,
put me
right.
down. I'm
Okay.
party. I got PhD in common sense, but I was smart enough to marry the right person.
There you go.
You feel me?
I tell you
I'm
like
not-
this, you know what? You could take Elon Musk and put him in the middle of Sandtown, and he ain't gonna know how to get out of there.
There you go.
I guarantee you, he gonna get robbed.
There
You know what I'm saying? But see, you know what? But you know how you have to navigate and how you got to do and how you got to talk and how you got
There
to
you
say
go.
and see, and that's a whole nother level of intelligence. You know what I'm saying? That a person want to just know you. You know what I'm saying? And so, and that's a blessing, man.
Plus, thank you very much for that, everybody. You know what I mean? But I do want to say there's another thing too, Doc, that a lot of them people, if I'm listening to Gina correct, these boys right here, I think that we got the right prosecutor on them. So we might get lucky with this Mr. Arbery trial.
Well, they're
And-
deliberating now. The jury is out for deliberation.
I was about to
So
say,
let's
and
all just keep
you
them
know
in
I'm
prayer.
gonna be glued to the TV, Gina, because I was glued to the TV waiting on them other verdicts to come down. So I'm gonna have all 11 of the TVs on.
Well, I will say this.
They my TVs. They my TVs.
I will say this though: if they were going to have one innocent and then one case guilty, this would have been the case if I had to choose between the two. You know what I'm saying? This would have definitely been the case. You know what I'm saying? Between the two. Even though that they was that other young man, he was guilty of some other stuff, but I would definitely say that.
And I'm going to tell you something, and we're a praying group, so we're going to continue to pray. But I mean, I really definitely in my heart of hearts believe that they will be convicted. The evidence was so overwhelming against them. But if they're not convicted, I just pray. I'm gonna say that. I ain't gonna get us kicked off Facebook. Don't say it, baby. But
I gotta use Doc line. That's one thing about me, like Gina said, I don't never want to be locked up again because I done that. But if anything that happened to me and I get locked up, I mean, I ain't no tough guy, but I make out okay. But them chumps, they getting over there, as Doc say, they're gonna be in the penal system. All I'm saying, Jack, don't drop the soap. Let me tell you.
No.
The soap. If it hit the ground, leave it there.
Request
Don't
PC.
go get it. Don't go get it.
Request PC. Home City. Protective custody. But I want to just say though, you know what?
Hands up. You know what I mean? We may never leave.
Well, no, I was just going to say, you know what? I'm having my event later on today. If anybody is out there in Mondawmin, if you ride by and you just see me giving away some stuff, the 2300 block of Ricestown Road, just past Mondawmin, just blow your horn. Just blow your horn. Let them know, you know what I'm saying, that we stand in solidarity and helping our communities.
And what time y'all going to be out there?
I'm going to be there from 4:30 to 6:30.
Okay.
I'm gonna be there from 4:30 to 6:30. I'm gonna be giving away some linen suits. I have a few, you know what I'm saying, brand new Nike tennis shoes for some young ladies, you know what I'm saying, and also, you know what I'm saying, but I'm gonna be giving away some baskets with full baskets and turkeys, to some families, and then for some of the other stuff, I'm bringing some stuff for even if the ones I don't know about come. So I want to be able to have something. They may not be able to have the basket that the people who the families that I'm getting, but I'm getting something. So I'm hoping that we're having something for everybody.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That is wonderful, and it's for people that need it. So y'all that sitting here in your house that you paid $2,500 mortgage and driving your Range Rover or your Lexus, it's not for you. You can afford to buy your own. But it's people out here at the holidays who are really in need. I always take issue with that because people will take things just because they're free. Don't do that.
Right.
Really we have people out here that need this stuff.
we have to also be mindful of, even when you given certain things, I have to try to be mindful that certain people don't even have a kitchen. Certain people are staying in hotels, so we have to be able to work with something that they can have, that they don't have a kitchen to cook it, but they might
Right.
have a microwave, and and the whole nine. I mean, so just being mindful. You know what I'm saying? Just, and as you're doing that, and as you're thinking about it, just thank God that it ain't you in that situation, because your
Yes.
situation didn't have to be the way it is. Sometimes, do you know that they say that most of the time, most people only have about 2 days worth of food in the house like that.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Meaning like they go 2 or 3 days, then they gotta go to the store again. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, it's not, it's not everybody living like the Rockefellers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
You
that's
know,
the truth.
I hope everybody learned a little something today. Closing thought, Gina.
Woo. Just pray for this verdict. I'm on pins and needles waiting to see what's gonna happen. Um, I got my booster. I got my flu
All
shot.
right.
I'm fully vaccinated. So I hope everybody else might do the same thing and continue to stay safe.
Closing thought, Doc.
You know what? To be honest with you, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. I'm alive. I'm free. And so, it's, and I mean, the thing is that, I feel that, I'm just blessed, and I'm going to try to see how I can bless somebody else also in the same token. So, let us just be mindful. Like I said, do wellness checks on some people, some elderly people that don't have family to check on them, and different things of that nature. I actually started just checking on some people who didn't have somebody to check on them at the nursing home, because sometimes they treat you different if you don't have nobody that come and check on you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so, let us just like I said, during this time, this is the highest peak for Thanksgiving and Christmas, the highest peak for suicides. And so, we want to just like I said, try to be there, and and just check on people if we can, and just tell them somebody cares.
Thank you. Closing thought, C.
Um, I just want. I mean,
Wait a minute,
as
C. C. Wait a minute. I forgot. This was your format. This is your. This was your agenda, your idea. I'll go first. You'll be the last closing thought, the anchor. I just want to thank everybody with the panel today. You know what I mean. My closing thought is the team. Hey, y'all, everybody out there, try to get some knowledge out of some stuff. If it's something that you don't know, man, just say you don't know it and try to do something about it. We went to my closing thought. Cece and I went the other day to see King Richard. What had to do with Venus and Serena Williams' father and his way. This guy that we thought was just out here eccentric was not. This guy was a genius. He had a plan. From that, every day I get up, I put together. No, at night before I go to bed, I put together my plan for tomorrow. I put together my plan for tomorrow. Cece says something all the time. Everybody that went to bed tonight had a plan for tomorrow. Everybody that went to bed tonight had a plan for tomorrow, whether you woke up to it or not. Get you a plan and try to execute it. My plan is to teach and learn from this podcast. Cece, bring us home.
I just wanted to say that, as always, I always speak about random acts of kindness. And they're especially important at this time of year. Because as Doc said, the season from Thanksgiving to New Year's is the highest instance of suicide throughout the whole year. So with that being said, I just want to tell people, don't forget to be kind to someone. And I also would just like to say that if you think about anybody that you haven't heard from in a while, that you haven't talked to, look through your phone. You got some friends in there that you may not even paid any attention, that you haven't heard from them. But please, please, please check on your strong friends too. You know, people always think that this one is a rock. She's so strong. He's so strong, the leader of the family, and this, that, and the third. Sometimes your strong friends suffer in silence. So just check on your strong friends too, you know, and that's just the message that I wanted to send today.
Mm.
Everybody out there, be somebody important, be yourself. We want y'all to know that I thought by Thanksgiving being Thursday and Cece having a lot of cooking and stuff like that to do, that we wouldn't be doing our Thursday episode. Tomorrow, you know, we'll be doing Spotlight on Small Businesses. Hopefully Gina will get in there. But Gina has a big slate, so she's doing things. But I'm so proud of the way when she found some time today, she popped right in there. Just popped right on in and did something. That's commitment. That's heart. I got a great crew. But my wife has told me that, you know, we don't always have to do a 2-hour show. She said on Thursday, which is Thanksgiving, from 11 o'clock, we'll still be here for just for 1 hour. But it's still important events to go on that still need to be talked about. Still need to be talked about. We're committed to that. We're committed. Everybody just do what you can. If Gina can't be here all the time, she came in for a minute, and as usual, she's still been here an hour. Still been here. You know what I mean? Still here by half. See, I said it's going to affect your cooking. She said, I'm going to still do my cooking, but I already know that the show's at 11, and it's some stuff that we may want to talk about. So we're going to be here on Thanksgiving, if no more than to say prayers with you and everything. But tomorrow, 11 o'clock as usual, Spotlight on Small Businesses. Get in there and, you know what I mean, see Gina and Cece while they talk about what it's doing. Hands up to a great show. Hands up to a great show. Gina Lee said something that always amazes me. Cece and I talk about the show because I watch the show. As soon as it airs, I go rewatch this whole thing. I sit down and I tweak it and do whatever I think that I'm doing. But Gina has something to say that's real heavy. And she always say the shows are different. But then it's so funny. Gina will say, I like that one better than the last one. I said, you can't get better than that one. That one was the best. She said, I like that one better. It's a lot of great shows we do. I mean, great shows. I might like this show that we just did more than any show that we've done. Yeah. And all these shows, they are never the same.
Nope.
They never the same. We talk about different things. We have diversity. We had all kinds of formats. We have all kinds of walks of life up here. This was a powerful show. And I watched Gina for a minute come in here. Took her 5 minutes to end up with that smile that she has. She's been all bubbly for this whole hour. See, have you noticed that out there podcast having the whole hour? She's been bubbly about the energy that the prosecutor had in the crowd. She's was bubbly about the job that lady did to prosecute these murderers.
She was brilliant.
She's bubbly about it. She's bubbly about it. She has been so excited about that. When it started, all I could think was the other guy got off. And that did not deter me into knowing what energy I just now got back from the next snake that won't get off. And I do want to say this to you before I go. First of all, I was somebody that went to jail for something I didn't do. So you can't go to jail for something you didn't do. Don't act like you can't. I want everybody out there to don't think, you know what I mean? That's like when people go off and tell you, you know, I got a friend, you know, we won't put him out there, but he's a real good friend. And when I do my morning roll call, he always say, okay, be safe. How do you be safe? To me, the dumbest comment that you can make to somebody is be safe. It's impossible to be safe, y'all. I tell them all the time, be strong. You drop your child off at school. How your child doing? My child's good. She at school. I'm glad she ain't out there. So I active shooter come shoot up the school, kill your child and 10 more kids and the teacher. You go to work. Oh, damn, I'm so glad I'm at work, man. They out there in the corner doing this. Somebody shoot up the job. A lady was riding along with their dog. Me and Cookie riding down the street. Somebody rides along, a millionaire idiot football player goes 156 miles an hour, running to the back of her, blow up the car, kill her and the dog. How was she being safe? She was being unsafe? Who was unsafe? If
Lord.
Aubrey was looking at building something for his family and running down the street in his last 10 minutes of life, he was shot, chased, trapped like a rat. How much safer could he be? I mean, how do you be safe, y'all?
Right.
How do you be safe? There's no such thing.
Going to buy a bag of Skittles ain't even safe.
You know what I mean?
How about, oh my God.
Choke to death selling loose cigarettes. Come on, man. Hey, y'all. Hey, real talk. Real talk. I'm praying that the world does better. But I do want to say this, y'all. No matter how we see it, they still don't care about us. They still don't care about us, y'all. They don't care about us. Some of these mean, heinous acts that they're committing on us, they don't care about us. Ain't no they don't understand. Ain't no they made a mistake. They know what the hell they doing. They know what the hell they doing. Be prepared. You gotta watch us. Don't get us wrong, because ain't nobody worse than us. We do more to each other than any person of color will ever do.
Mhm.
We do more to each other going down the street, stealing out your mother's pocketbook, stealing each other's car. You know what I mean? We do more to each other than any judge or a wonderful person, a person of color can never do to you. But y'all, I do need to say this, man. Watch them. Watch them, man. Watch them, man. They don't care about. They're getting away with stuff, and then y'all talk all that dumb stuff. That's all. If you hit me, I'm gonna sue you. If I hit you with my car, you're gonna sue me. Maybe your mother will. I hit you
And
with
then
my
the
car.
And then the judge will be Rittenhouse's judge, and you can't even get your money.
Right.
You feel me? That's what I'm talking about. Oh man, they got $9 million. Who the hell? I don't want my kids dead. Want my kids dead about no damn money? I work some overtime. Gina Lee's retired and go out and be a crossing guard. You think they pay her $1 million to go out there a couple hours stand on the court, a couple hours stand back? She makes sure she had to do to make sure that she keep her income going on. I'm retired. I go to work. CC and them tomorrow be selling secrets and paparazzi. You know, we do what we got to do. Nobody want no damn money from no suitcase. I don't want to be in no damn chair because you ran into the back of me and paralyzed me. Damn. All right, y'all. My closing thought right here, after my second closing thought, is the holiday. It's dangerous out there. This is for these ladies out here. Watch always having your fancy wedding ring out there when you go in every store. People can look at that wedding ring and know what it costs. Put it in your pocket. Don't take it off your hand. Put your hand in your pocket. You know what I mean? What's that thing?
A taser.
Taser.
I got one too, Gina, and I need to start carrying it. Seriously.
Everywhere I go.
Well, thank God I got myself that gun. But y'all listen, they out there now. This is a dangerous time. When they start stealing them ATMs, that lets you know how hard up we are for money. So believe you me, they'll take something.
Crazy.
That's crazy. They out here now. Y'all do as much as you can. Hey, gentlemen, do yourself a favor. Watch your wife to the car. Watch your girlfriend to the car. Pick your daughter up. These are trying times now. Don't let something happen to them and then spend the whole time crying, but you was too lazy to do something about it then. My wife watched me leave out every day. Every day, my wife watches me leave out and I blow the horn and she then shuts the door. Make sure to keep everybody safe. All right, y'all, hands up to another great show. Everybody, you know what I mean? Be somebody important, be yourself. May the work I've done speak for me. May the life I've lived speak for me. When I'm resting in my grave, oh Lord, may they all say, may the service we give on these podcasts speak for me. Hands up! All right, y'all. Now go out, have a great day on purpose. Be somebody important, be yourself. I got to have you up because CC's going to cut us out. That's our time, and I'm out.